Okay, so I think I am of sound mind and I have calmed myself down and I can finally talk about Beauty and the Beast, the new one. And as the title in this video clearly states, there's gonna be some spoilers because I'm gonna be talking quite a bit about this. Sorry, I know you weren't asking for this. So for those of you who don't know me very well, I love Beauty and the Beast. I love it. It's my favorite Disney movie. I mean, there are lots of movies that I've loved, but Beauty and the Beast just holds a very special place in my heart. I actually didn't start liking it a whole lot until middle school. Like, I always watched it when I was a little kid, and then middle school came around. It's just like, I want to watch this movie. And then, the next night, I'm gonna watch it again. Until I started dissecting it and learning all the lyrics and, just completely engrossing myself in this movie. So when I first saw the trailer, I wasn't one of those people who said, it's gonna suck, I'm not gonna go see it. I'm not one of those people who said, oh my gosh, it's gonna be so good, I'm gonna watch it 5 times in theaters. I was one of those people who was just like, oh, please don't screw it up. Please, it's such a beautiful movie. There's no way you can do wrong, come on. And over time, I was just like, okay, I think it's gonna be good. The cast looks fine, everything looks good. There are some things that I was a little concerned about, like, spoilers. Like, in the trailer, Emma Watson, who is playing Belle, we'll get to that in a minute, she says in the trailer, well, how do we break the spell? And I thought, oh, no. Because I'm a fanatic about these things, but, I've had time to think about the lore and, character and everything, because I watched this movie so many times, but I realized if Belle knew about the curse, and if, they told her all about it, then where is her, that gives her motivation to be like, okay, so just fall in love with the Beast. Or just be nice to the Beast, or just, whatever. It's just like, that takes away from it. There's nothing special about her truly falling in love with him for, the sake of, having feelings for him. However, whenever I did go see the movie, she's like, so obviously he has you under a curse. And she said he, as in the Beast did this to you. Kind of not wrong, but she's like, so how do you break it? And Mrs. Potts says, no. We're not gonna tell you that. We've already made our decision. What happens, happens. If we turn into inanimate objects for forever, that's on us. And that's another thing. In the original, they just stay the way they are. Nothing ever really changes. However, in the new one, if they don't get this curse fixed, then, they become inanimate and they don't live anymore. And the castle, comes to ruins, and you see that throughout the movie, and it makes you feel like, oh, the stakes are higher. I felt like that was a good addition. Where do I want to go with this? Okay, so, like I said, I have this whole thing memorized, so I'm like, okay, I know I'm not gonna like some of the additions. I am so OCD about the littlest things. It's really stupid. But if I like something enough, then I'm very nitpicky. And so I said, okay, they're obviously going to be making some changes to, adapt to this movie. Will I like them or not? And I think for the most part, I kind of did. I would either say I either liked the changes or the additions made, or I at least tolerated them. Belle has more interest in knowing who her mother was, or how she died. And there's more of a connection. And I don't know, did we need it? No. Was it nice? Yeah, it worked. However, it was a little weird whenever they did that with the Beast, where they were like, oh, well, his mother died, and his father was very abusive, and, turned him into the spoiled little brat that he was. And I was like, okay, is that it? And yeah, that was it. They kind of just left it there. I didn't really it didn't bug me as much until I started like listening to other people's like reviews. Like Tamara just saw, and the sibling rivalry with Doug and Rob Walker. I watched those and I was like, ooh, they did not like this movie. But I can understand why. These were things that I guess I was okay with. That brings up the other thing, the book. If you've seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about, but it felt a little unnecessary. And it felt like they raised too many questions rather than answered them. It's just like, okay, is that the end of that? Yes, that's the end of that scene. And it never comes back, and they never really do anything more with that. But things like timing. That was another thing that came up. The timing in the original is wonderful. I have come to really respect the timing in that movie. I'm gonna just switch positions. And I don't know, you do get a sense of time going by slowly, and slowly a connection building. The timing was very different in this movie. Yeah, it did feel shorter. It really did. Time felt like maybe a week went by. Whereas in the original, it felt maybe like months were going by. I think part of that was because they kept cutting back and forth between the village and between the castle. It's like, I mean, their scenes are already done. Why do you need to add more to it? I feel like Maurice got more, like, spotlight than, I don't know, like, Belle. I don't know. That sounds really weird. But he did a great job. Do I want to go into casting yet? I don't know. Because I do have things to say about that. Okay, one last thing. Again, they didn't have to do this. It was either yeah, they did it, yeah, I guess it worked. But for me, I liked it. I liked the dialogue that was given to Belle and Beast. Like, as they were coming to, befriend each other and, like, form this relationship, which eventually turned into love. I liked some of the dialogue because I felt like in the original, I always felt like there wasn't enough talking among them. And, I know the point is you had to watch it. You had to just watch and, imagine what they were saying. You had to imagine, that it was happening. But I liked, just for peace of mind, seeing these two characters sit and talk and enjoy each other's company. I enjoyed watching that a little bit more. It was always just kind of like oh, yay, they're getting along. My arms are just shaking, and that's not good for the camera. Casting. The guy who plays Gaston, I loved him. He was fantastic. Now I see why he was, like, so involved with, like, social media. It's because, like, I genuinely believed he loved his part. Josh Gad did a wonderful job as LeFou. They changed the character. I'm not mentioning the elephant in the room, but they changed the character where it's like he's not a bad guy, and you kind of want to root for him, but at the same time, it's like, but wait, the original LeFou was an idiot and very much like a bad guy. I don't know. It worked. It very much worked. Emma Watson. You either like her or you dislike her, and I'm one of those people who is very, like, in the middle with her. I thought, yeah, I could see it. I could see her being Belle. The question is, can she sing? No. Yeah, I don't know. There are actors who can kind of talk their way through movies. She wasn't as bad as other people. She wasn't as bad as Russell Crowe in Les Mis, or as Christopher Walken playing King Louis in The Jungle Book, which, I mean, The Jungle Book, like, just watching that, I was laughing the entire time. But Emma Watson, you can tell that she kind of tries, but there's only so much that her range can do. And I think with remakes, or at least Disney ones, they're not too terribly concerned with, I don't want to say that, because okay, they're not too terribly concerned with the singing aspect. They're more like, okay, who's going to have the speaking voice for this? Who's going to be able to, pull that off? And if they can't sing, well, we'll train them. It's okay. They'll learn to sing. That doesn't always work. I feel like it wasn't bad. So many mixed comments about this, but I loved the Beast. Like, the Beast was always my favorite character in the original. I just loved him. Because I felt like the whole movie wasn't so much just about Belle. It was about the Beast. Like, it was about both of them, and it was also more about him and his redemption. I just loved his character. So in the new one, I was very much like, don't screw up the design, don't screw up the voice, don't screw up, like, the character itself. Please, just do a good job. And, so, yeah, they didn't do too bad. I liked the guy who played him. I actually liked his voice. I liked his singing voice. So they added a couple of new songs. And none of them were from the musical, which made me sad because, like, Home wasn't in there. If I Can't Love Her wasn't in there. And I love If I Can't Love Her. That's one of my favorite songs. That would have given me, like, absolute chills if that had been in the movie, but it was not. But as the Beast, like, lets Belle go and she's running off to get her father, he has this song called Evermore. And I know some people were like, it's kind of flat, I don't really like it. I like it. A lot. I cried. I cried. I was kind of, like, on the verge a couple times just because of nostalgia, and I wanted to see such a beautiful movie. But that one got me. I cried. I don't know, you could just feel his emotion, you could hear it, and you could just, like, even if it wasn't the most vocally impressive, it was very pretty to listen to, and, the lyrics made you, like, go, oh. The style, the all-around, like, style, like, the castle and everything. I mean, like, when you go to Disney World, what you want to do, like, what every kid or even adult who's been raised on this sort of thing, they want to go see the Beast Castle restaurant. And so they're like, yeah, we want to see, like, the entire thing on, on the big screen. And it was beautiful. It really was. What I didn't like was some of the cinematography. I don't know if it was just me because I had, like, a sick stomach that night, but like, there were so many, like, sweeping camera angles, like, sweeping around, and I'm just like, huh? Oh, okay. There was so much, it's like, where do I look? Either because, like, the castle itself is just so, like, glittery and gold, and oh my gosh, it's so ornate, and, Rococo design, and I don't know. And, like, some things were, like, too close in your face, like, the Beast is right here, and Belle is right here, and Lumiere is right here, and then, like, you see nothing but the castle. It's just like, where do I look? But maybe that's me being picky. So overall, I do not hate this movie like I thought I would. I absolutely thought that I would not like it. But I am not like, it's better than the original. It has its really good parts. There were some slow parts, there were some really good parts, there were some really sad parts. And then there were, there's good and bad in both of them. Like, I always felt like the original was very, I don't know, maybe that was good pacing, but I felt like it was very quick, and it's just like, I want a breather. I want a moment where the two were just talking. And you see that in the new one. What I also, real quick, hang on. What I also noticed, there was another change, is that, in the original, like, with the song Human Again, you find out that Beast can't read. Or he just forgot. So Belle teaches him, and that's, like, the sweetest moment. And then in the new one, he already knows how to read, and so they bond that way. They become friends first and then lovers later. But that is just my opinion, you guys. Thank you for listening to this little rant, and you'll have to go see the movie for yourselves. I'm Archer with a sword. Bye!